In the small town of Oakwood, nestled between rolling hills and dense forests, there lived a boy named David. From a young age, he felt an inexplicable sense of purpose, a whisper of destiny that tugged at his heart. While other children played carefree in the meadows, David often found himself gazing at the stars, pondering the mysteries of the universe and his place within it. He was a dreamer, but also a thinker, often lost in thoughts of heroism and the age-old battle between good and evil. As he grew, David became known for his kindness and bravery, often helping those in need and standing up against bullies. His parents, though humble farmers, instilled in him the values of compassion and courage. They told him stories of ancient heroes and the battles they fought against dark forces, tales that ignited a fire in David's heart. Yet, he never imagined that one day he would be called upon to be a hero himself. One fateful night, as David lay in bed, a strange and powerful force swept through Oakwood. The air grew heavy, and an unnatural chill enveloped the town. Shadows danced along the walls, and a low, ominous rumble echoed in the distance. The townspeople awoke in fear, whispering of an ancient evil that had been awakened from its slumber, a dark entity that thrived on despair and chaos. As the days passed, the shadow of war between good and evil loomed ever larger. Crops began to wither, animals acted strangely, and a sense of dread settled over Oakwood. The once vibrant town was now shrouded in fear, and the townspeople looked to each other for answers. It was during this time that David encountered Elijah, a mysterious old man who seemed to appear out of nowhere. With a long, flowing beard and eyes that sparkled with wisdom, Elijah carried an air of authority and knowledge. "David," he said, his voice steady and calm, "you are more than you realize. You are the key to saving this town and perhaps the world from the darkness that has awakened. You are a descendant of a long line of warriors, guardians of light who have fought against evil for generations." David listened, his heart racing with both fear and excitement. Elijah explained the prophecy that spoke of a chosen one who would rise in the face of darkness, a warrior who would wield the light of righteousness to vanquish the evil that threatened to consume humanity. As Elijah spoke, David felt a surge of energy within him, a calling that resonated deep in his soul. With newfound purpose, David embarked on a journey of self-discovery and courage. Elijah became his mentor, guiding him through rigorous training that tested his physical strength and mental fortitude. They ventured into the enchanted woods surrounding Oakwood, where David faced various trials, battling fierce creatures, solving ancient riddles, and learning to harness the light within him. Each challenge he overcame brought him closer to understanding his true heritage and the power he possessed. During his journey, David met others who would become his allies. There was Lila, a spirited girl with a fierce determination and a talent for archery; Marcus, a gentle giant with unmatched strength; and Sophia, a wise healer who could mend wounds and soothe troubled souls. Together, they formed an unbreakable bond, united by their shared mission to restore peace to their town. As the final confrontation with the dark entity approached, David and his friends prepared for battle. They gathered the townspeople, rallying them with words of hope and courage. "We are not alone in this fight," David declared, his voice ringing with conviction. "Together, we can stand against the darkness and reclaim our home." The day of reckoning arrived, and the skies darkened as the malevolent force descended upon Oakwood. The air crackled with energy, and the ground trembled beneath their feet. David stood at the forefront, his heart pounding but resolute. With Elijah's teachings echoing in his mind, he summoned the light within him, feeling it course through his veins like fire. In the midst of chaos, David confronted the dark entity, a swirling mass of shadows and despair that sought to extinguish the light. With his friends by his side, he unleashed the power of good, a radiant energy that illuminated the battlefield. The clash between light and dark was fierce, but David's unwavering belief in the goodness of humanity fueled his strength. With a mighty roar, he unleashed a wave of light that surged toward the darkness, pushing it back with an intensity that shook the very foundations of the earth. The townspeople watched in awe as David stood tall, his spirit ablaze with righteousness. In that moment, he became the embodiment of hope, a beacon of light in the face of overwhelming darkness. As the shadows began to dissipate, the dark entity let out a final, anguished cry before vanishing into nothingness. The sun broke through the clouds, casting a warm, golden light over Oakwood. The townspeople erupted in cheers, their voices mingling with the sound of laughter and relief as they rushed to embrace David and his friends. The once terrifying presence that had loomed over Oakwood had been vanquished, and the air was filled with a sense of renewal. Flowers began to bloom again, and the sun shone brightly, illuminating the beauty of the town that had been hidden under the shadow of despair. David, still catching his breath, looked around at the faces of the people he had fought to protect. Their eyes sparkled with gratitude and admiration, and in that moment he realized the true weight of his journey. He had not only fought against an ancient evil, he had united his community, rekindling their hope and strength. It was a victory not just for him, but for everyone in Oakwood. Elijah approached David, a proud smile on his weathered face. "You have done well, my boy," he said, placing a hand on David's shoulder. "You have proven that the light within us all can shine brightly, even in the darkest of times. But remember, this is only the beginning. There will always be challenges, and the battle between good and evil is eternal." David nodded, understanding the gravity of Elijah's words. He had tasted the sweetness of victory, but he also knew that vigilance was necessary. The world was vast, and darkness could rise again in unexpected places. With his friends by his side, he felt ready to face whatever came next. As the sun set over Oakwood, casting a warm glow across the town, David and his friends gathered at the edge of the enchanted woods. They shared stories of their adventures, laughter ringing out as they recounted the trials they had faced. Lila, her eyes sparkling with mischief, challenged Marcus to a friendly archery contest, while Sophia prepared a feast of fresh fruits and herbs from the forest. In the midst of their celebration, David took a moment to reflect. He thought of the countless stories his parents had told him, the heroes who had come before him, and the legacy he now carried. He felt a deep connection to those who had fought for light throughout history, and he understood that he was now part of that lineage. As the night deepened, the stars twinkled overhead, and David felt a sense of peace settle within him. He gazed up at the constellations, remembering the dreams that had once filled his childhood. "What do you think lies beyond the stars?" he asked, his voice barely above a whisper. "Adventure," Leela replied, her eyes gleaming with excitement. "And more challenges, of course, but also the chance to discover who we really are. Together, we can face anything," Marcus added, his voice steady and reassuring. "We've proven that already." Sophia smiled softly, her gaze drifting to the horizon. "And we'll always have each other's backs. That's what makes us strong." With a renewed sense of purpose, David felt the weight of destiny settle comfortably on his shoulders. They had triumphed over darkness, but there was still so much to explore, so many mysteries to uncover. The world was filled with wonders, and he was determined to seek them out alongside his friends. As dawn broke over Oakwood, painting the sky in hues of pink and gold, David made a silent vow. He would continue to protect his town and its people, to seek out the light in every shadow, and to inspire others to do the same. With his friends by his side, he would embark on a journey that would take them beyond the hills and forests into realms unknown. "Let's go," he said, determination lacing his voice. "There's a whole world out there waiting for us." And with that, David and his friends set off, their hearts filled with hope and courage, ready to face whatever adventures awaited them. Together, they would shine as beacons of light, guardians of good, in a world that would always need heroes.